Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. Time to talk Navy baseball right now. Baseball team getting 3 out of 4 over the weekend against the Bison of Bucknell with Logan Knowles. And you guys dropped the first one, a rare game in which Noah pitches that you all do not win. What was the key to coming back over those last 3, though, to make sure you had a good weekend there?
Yeah, I think it's all about just the mentality of responding. So whenever we're faced with adversity, get some input from coach and the rest of the guys as well, just to respond well, put some good at bats together when we need them. Coming through in those pressure situations, I think a lot of guys stepped up to make it happen.
You guys have a unique schedule with the Patriot League, and this weekend coming up is one of those unique things. You get Holy Cross on the front side of the weekend, and then, of course, Army up in Baltimore at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Do you sense something different about this weekend because of the way the schedule is this year with a complete round robin now?
Right, yeah, definitely going to be different. I don't know what the game plan is exactly, but I know it's going to be a big weekend. We're going to come ready to play.
Obviously, both of these teams, too, present great obstacles within the Patriot League. As you all have had success, you individually, you've gone from a guy that was at the bottom of the lineup playing third base. Now you're counted on as one of those guys in the top part of the lineup to make things happen. Do you see teams pitching you a lot differently now that you're there and having that kind of success than what you saw when you were batting ninth in the lineup?
Oh, yeah, yep. I mean, some levels, batting ninth is nice. You see a lot of fastballs for sure. Not so much anymore, but I think it's really good for those people that are down there because, Smitty, those guys that are down at the bottom of the lineup right now are going to be, have huge roles coming up. So I think it's part of the learning process, and you're able to handle more as, you progress in your career.
Do you find yourself, and how tough is this as a hitter, really to make in-game adjustments on the fly?
All about in-game adjustments. So if you're not able to make adjustments, then, with all the double headers that we play, you're not going to be very successful. So I think that's one thing that the coaching staff really stresses, and that is a big part of our game, is you need to be able to make those adjustments in game.
You guys off to a flying start overall. What's been the key for you all as a team right now to be sitting at 17-5 through 22 games?
I think it's just, we get contributions from all up and down the lineup. I think everyone has come up with a big hit at some point this year. I know the opening weekend, Smitty had a big hit. Alex Smith, we call him Smitty.
Sure.
But we've gotten knocks up and down the lineup, so I think it's just been a real team effort so far.
You guys got off to a great start down at Air Force, and this is a program now that has expectations. You have a culture of winning here. What has been the key during your time here that as you've absorbed the culture and now really one of the trusted leaders to keep that culture going in such a positive way? What are the challenges as one of the leaders now on the team to continue that success?
Right. I think it's just about, making sure you're backing up what we're saying on the field. So obviously we preach a culture of attack, at the plate, being a hitter myself. We're very attack oriented. We want to put pressure on the defense as much as possible. And I think the challenge is just to go out and execute that at a high level myself, so that, the younger guys see a positive example there.
Is it pressure, or is it a confidence in being a leader at the top of that lineup especially?
Oh, confidence is key. We want to create pressure for the defense to try to get us out. So confidence is key, and I know that Borney's swinging the bat with a lot of confidence right now. We got Jake has been playing at a really high level, so I think that the guys that have been in there are playing with a lot of confidence, and that's helped us a lot.
Obviously, you've done a great job as a hitter here early in the season. How important was it for you to be patient and just get through what was going on? And obviously over the weekend you really started to swing it well against Bucknell and made a lot of things happen.
Right. I think, sometimes baseball tests your resolve a little bit. Yeah. So you hit some balls hard and you don't exactly get what you want out of it, but that's baseball. So you got to just play through that and take every day as a new day. So
growing up, what was it like to have a brother who could probably throw some pretty good BP to you?
Oh, well, not good. Not good feel-good batting practice, that's for sure. I think he made his first real weekend start over this weekend against Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
He threw 7 2/3 scoreless, I believe. So he's really come into his own. He wasn't always that good. He was a lot smaller than I was growing up. I actually hit my first home run off of him in all-star practice when we were in Little League. So it was pretty funny. But
that's something you can needle him about for like the rest of your life, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously, for those of you who don't know, his brother pitches at the University of Washington, so that's why when we say Seven and 2/3 against Arizona. That's a pretty good outing. At the same time, from a family perspective, your dad was competitive golfer at Washington State. When you've got that family dynamic where you all can share in the successes, but at times even share in those negative times when you need a little pick me up. What's it like to be able to share that with family who can relate exactly to what you're going through?
Right. I think it's been extremely important, not only in baseball, but in my time at the academy in general. My dad's always been really good at, always positive reinforcement. Positive outlook on everything. Mentality is everything, and so being able to talk to him and my mom as well, and Lucas and my sister actually runs here as
Right,
well.
sure.
So it's been extremely helpful.
Is it good to have her here? Just
Oh yeah,
just somebody that you can bounce stuff off of if you need to, because clearly she can clearly relate to what you're going through with
absolutely.
obviously the challenges of the student athlete here.
Yeah, it's been absolutely a blessing having her here as well. Mhm.
All right, you're a football player, you're a basketball player, you're a baseball player out in Washington State. How do you end up here?
I would say that's in large part to coach I had, Coach Bob McDonald, who was the head baseball
Right.
coach here for a while. I always, once I came out here, I knew it was the place for me. Um, Stayed with Luke Gillingham, talked to Bob Curry. I know those
Sure,
names are
yeah.
familiar with you. And being around those guys, I loved what Navy was all about, and um, haven't looked back. It's been the best decision of my life.
You start to look around now. I mean, you're into some pretty rarefied air. Ninth in runs scored. You're high up in triples. Obviously you expect to compete and expect to be good when you play at this level. Uh, the fact that you've had this kind of success, what has been the key for you to be able to do that? And did you know that was inside of you?
Well, I think everyone who comes to play college baseball knows that that's inside of them somewhere. I think for me, it's listening to coaches. Absolutely. When I got here, I think I was hit 190 plebe year, and so I think just in working with Coach Kane and Coach Costi has really helped me progress as a hitter, and I think that success is in there for multiple people in our lineup right now.
Costi's won a billion games as a college baseball coach. I mean, really. I mean, and he's done it at two what I would consider two challenging environments. I mean, especially Providence in the Northeast, and obviously here with the challenges that present in terms of recruiting student athletes. Why is he so good though? Why has he won so many games? What is it about him that as a player, you respect and get something out of, not only in practice, but I'm sure those discussions have to make it easier in games because he just brings such a wealth of knowledge to the field.
Yeah, wealth of knowledge, some intensity. He says it himself. We're coached aggressively, and he expects a lot out of us. But I think people respond to that really well, and he preaches response. And I think games like this weekend prove that people respond to him. So
I was gonna say a lot of coaches can talk that because he is like that, and I'm sure he's like that all of the time. Is it easier to respond to a coach like that rather than the guy that just sits back? Okay, we gotta go, we gotta go. It's time to go
absolutely,
now.
yep. He definitely practices what he preaches. He doesn't coach to the score, and we don't play to the score.
Obviously, your pitchers are terrific. You sit out there in center field and watch a lot of this action. From your view, behind them, what is it like to play behind them? Because their success at times forces you to be on your toes because you don't get a lot of action from time to time with some of
Right.
these guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, sitting in center field, I feel like I have the best view of the strike zone. So I think that they should get more calls than they do. So it kind of is like, oh, that was a strike. I know I'm getting calls from like, where was that? I'm like, I thought it was a strike. Um, but yeah, you really have to stay on your toes because you never know when the ball's coming out there, especially when you don't get a lot of action. So just making sure we're communicating with other outfielders and staying engaged to the game because they do a great job, most of the time.
All right, I got to ask you, at some point, are we going to get a home run out of the ballpark? Or because you've got two inside the park home runs to your
two
credit,
two inside the
are,
parkers.
are we going to get one over the fence at some
We're
point?
saving it. Yes, I know that people. Bob Curry, I think he did not have one, but he was really close at Dell State. He was like right off the top, and I know that people give me crap just like they gave Bob for that. So it's in there somewhere. Whether it comes out or not, I'm not worried about it. I'm just worried about getting on base and scoring runs.
All right, well, let's hope it comes in the Patriot League Championship game and propels the Mids to the NCAAs. Appreciate the time today.
All right, absolutely.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Logan Knowles joining us here on the Navy Sports Magazine.